I have a little bit of a headache. My needle drops. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. Thank you for watching. This is an album review, and you know what else? It's Labor Day. Why am I doing an album review on Labor Day? Well, this is not labor. This is love. Forever. This is the latest LP from the Swedish black metal group Watain Lawless. It is their fourth and easily, standing at almost 80 minutes, it's their longest. These guys got their start in the late 90s and since then have really maintained a sound that acknowledges thrash metal as an influence not only for them but for black metal in general. And as far as the black metal lo-fi stereotype goes, these guys banish it to hell with every single one of their LPs. Even their live releases are pretty good in terms of sound quality. This is my first LP that I've heard from this band. I've listened to their older stuff now too, and I'm just noticing a lot of proficient musicianship, some good production. Watain just really hits this sweet spot where they are loud, they are abrasive, they are grim, but they still primarily make rock music. But they don't step anywhere near overproduction, kind of like that Cradle of Filth stuff that, yeah, it's abrasive, yeah, it's intense. It's kind of like Hollywood for me, maybe a little too Hollywood. Lawless Darkness is hard-hitting and relentless at many points. But no matter how loud and crazy things get here, there's always an interlude or a solo just around the corner. Which is partially why this album and its songs, one of them being over 14 minutes, are so long. Just a lot of instrumental passages, a lot of progressive song structures. Because of how long this LP is, it's kind of hard to just sit down and enjoy it in just one full sitting. But you could pull these tracks apart and really enjoy any of them separately. Overall, the LP holds to a particular sound, but it's not weighed down in concept or anything like that. As far as some highlights go, the single Reaping Death is fantastic. Just the hook on that song is great. It's just the perfect length, some really strong playing. The title track is an instrumental and has some very good solos. And song after song after song, the drumming is really good. Great fills, the blast beats are on tempo, rarely slipping behind or slipping ahead of the tempo. It's just a really tight delivery without going for that triggered sound that I don't really like in my metal music. The vocals, well performed, well mixed, and in terms of the guitar, it's got that nice, burning, hot distortion that I love. And whether it's riffs, tremolo picking, soloing, whatever the guitar's doing, it's usually pleasing me. But something's keeping me from just freaking out about this record and saying it's great, even though there are a lot of impressive aspects to it. I've listened to this and come back to it and come back to it and come back to it time and time again, but I just don't feel like it's impressing me more than it did the first time around when I heard it. I do think it's great that Watain don't want to repeat themselves with their last album, and in some ways are kind of repeating what Iron Maiden has been doing with their most recent stuff. They don't want to copy themselves, so they're getting more progressive. They're making longer songs. They're looking for ways to kind of just draw things out. After thinking about it a lot, I think what's keeping me from loving this LP is that it is pretty long-winded, and it does have maybe too many similarities with a lot of the black metal that I already love. And even though I'm not smitten with this thing as a whole, MALFEITOR, pronouncing correctly, and Reaping Death are two of the greatest black metal tracks I've heard all year. Even though I'm not digging it, I think longtime fans of this group and people who are looking for progressive black metal in general will see this as somewhat of a masterwork. Very ambitious, somewhat of an odyssey in terms of black metal. I'm kind of feeling like a light to decent 6 on this. Some tracks I do enjoy and would totally take away from this. I may even pick up the single of this LP. But let's talk money. You know what? The thing is, everything is great when it's free. I'm not so much in love with it that I'm about to lay more than 16 bones down on it on the band's website. But for someone else, that could totally be the case. If you've heard this band's new LP, what do you think about it, and how do you think it compares with their earlier stuff? And what would you score this thing? Anthony Fantano, Watain, Lawless Darkness, forever.